Doug, can I dissolve your pennies? I want to turn your pennies into copper chloride and zinc chloride using hydrochloric acid and hydrogen peroxide.
I don't want any part of that. But thank you for asking. I have a confession. This might make me look like an entitled douchebag who has too much money or something. I just throw away pennies. It's like they're just gonna sit around somewhere, and then I will never, like, ever take the time to go turn them in. What a 1%er! But it's like, okay, how often do you even get a penny? You get pennies so infrequently. If I get a penny at the store, I just immediately put it back in the give a penny thing, right? What do you mean, what? I cannot be the only one who does this, right? And I feel bad, but like, it's just not worth the time, because then they just sit around and like get in the way and shit. And so, oh, what? Do I go like put them in a bag and store them somewhere? I'm never ever gonna like go to the store and put them into a machine or whatever. Do you guys really hoard your pennies and care about them? I just value my time at more than 8 cents per 6 months. I just feel like that's very reasonable to just be like, I don't care very much about this penny. I don't do it with nickels, because nickels are big enough. I'm like, okay, this just feels douchey. On the very rare occasion that I pay with cash and I get pennies back or something, I'm like, what will actually happen is they will sit there forever until I move years later, at which point I am in the middle of the move and go, I don't have time to deal with 32 pennies, and so I just throw them away, because like, what else am I'm not going to take the time.
Actually going to play a game at some point or what?
Yeah, I'm talking about something important first. The only time that I would go and take care of the pennies is when I'm moving, because I'm not just going to like plan out in the middle of the day to take the pennies to a coin bank, which I've never even seen anywhere. Put them in a bag. This is what I mean. So here's what I used to do, right? It's not like I've been throwing away pennies my whole life. It's just the last like year or two, right? I used to, but then this is what would happen. I go and I buy something from somewhere, and I'm like, oh, hey, I'm buying an ice cream sandwich. Here's 2 quarters and 2 pennies. I'm like, okay, well, the quarters I'll obviously keep. And then I have 2 pennies here. And I go home and I'm like, well, I don't want to, what do I do with these? So then I like put them in a bag, and then they like sit there for years, because at what point am I going to, in the middle of my week, plan out, oh, I should take all these pennies and spend like an hour driving to a bank that will take them or whatever, right? And so they sit around in my house, and I'm just ignoring them because I don't care, and it's not going to change literally anything at all. Eventually I move, and during the moving process, you have way too much shit going on, and at some point you're rummaging through all the stuff you have to get rid of, and then you see the bag of pennies, you're like, I don't care. I do not care. I'm throwing out so much other shit anyways, and so you just throw it away. Like, I feel like that's completely reasonable. Just because it's money, you don't have to like treat it like it's a precious, incredible thing. I started this because I got annoyed about pennies, and so I sent one to Parkser through my other friend. It went through like 3 states to get to Parkser, I'm pretty sure. So like my first choice was like, hold on to them, but then they never got used. My second option was I sent them to a person who didn't want them. And the third one is like, pennies are dumb, dude. They're dumb. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to all the penny enthusiasts here. It's not like I'm tossing hundreds of pennies into the trash every day. We're talking like 3 cents a month tops. I'm not taking something away from like the people in need. This is like a very specific situation. What if I just spend the time I would have taken to get those 3 cents to the bank, and I do another charity stream? When I've done this, I'm like, this feels bad, but like it makes sense, right? This is like a rational use of time. And I don't know if you guys are giving me shit or you actually think I'm a monster for doing this. This is one of those situations where I can't tell if you're joking. They're useless, dude. If I was getting like dozens of pennies on a regular basis, then sure, right? Then it's wasteful. I'm talking about 1 to 3 pennies every 2 months. I hate pennies. They're so dumb. It's such a bad use of time and effort. I think I'm in the right on this, even though you guys think I'm a total oligarch now.
Your content and community has been keeping me laughing in this otherwise lonely time, so thank you.
Look, I apologize. You sent that message before the penny controversy. All these donations happened before the penny controversy. Now that Pennygate has happened, I feel like the whole tone of our relationship is going to change. I gave money to a penny waster. My life.
Penny saved is a headache earned, DougDoug.
A penny saved is a stupid use of your time. Now a nickel. Now we're talking, okay? You're not going to hear me talk any shit about nickels here.
Throwing away pennies makes no sense.
You're fired. Get the hell out of my office. The penny concept is about time management. It's like, what could I contribute to the world with my time? Now, if I drive to the bank, put a bunch of fucking CO2 into the air on the way, and make 3 cents out of it, is that a good contribution? Or could I do literally anything else with my time? That's the question. And so I'm not looking for, like, what could I melt my pennies into?
Is throwing away pennies for content considered a tax write-off?
I don't know if I can write that off.
Ottoman Medic on Discord thinks the hydrochloric acid guy is wrong. You should use nitric acid instead to dissolve.
Guys,
your
I'm
pennies.
not going to set up like a meth lab to cook my pennies.
Thank you for subscribing to Penny Facts, Doug. If you line up all the pennies you've thrown away, you could make twice the Earth's circumference.
That's not true. I've thrown away like 30 pennies in my life. Okay, right? Okay, right? Okay, you know what I mean?